I'm not around, have you found I'm always on your mind? And when you hear my name, does it sound the same as you felt when you heard it last time? Do you see flowers in my hair that aren't really there? Do you feel the pain when I'm blue? And when you see me, does it seem to be that blues change to life in bloom? 'Cause this is how I see you, and these are the things you do. You may not know, so I'm telling you so, the best way I know how to. Welcome everyone to Mizpah's Becoming a Father Live, presented by the Boiling Point Podcast. This is this is not the normal opening for Mizpah's series, but I did not think about that until the very last second that we needed a live opening for our live episode. So that's on me. But we use the Boiling Point Podcast opening. Marcus Frederiksen does the music. Make sure you go check him out, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen, and share out your favorite song, because we do use one of his other songs for your normal entrance. Joining me is the star of this series, Mizpah, who is the Becoming a Father, and he is also very, very sick at the moment, and he still decided to come and join us live and do this, get this episode in and see it through. So, Mizpah, thank you for joining us, despite you not feeling very well.
Absolutely. We had talked about it beforehand. I said, people expect this show to happen tonight, so I wanted to make sure that we didn't disappoint.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do have a couple of viewers already. Thank you very much. Make sure you follow us, share this out. Take a moment right now, hit the like button on wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Hit that like button, and then please take a moment and share this out. We want to try and get more people sharing out our live episodes. We want to grow the brand and bring more viewers in. And before we jump in with Mizpah, I just want to say I know content has been a little bit slow on the Boiling Point podcast side. As you can see, I'm repping the entertainment side with my t-shirt tonight, because I was just on a live episode before we started this one, promoting the Mayhem Media brand, which has been growing. But we're doing things for the Boiling Point podcast too. We just can't announce them and advertise them as much. And we can't tell you why that is until we get there. So you're just going to have to be patient with us on the Boiling Point podcast side. We do have more election episodes coming, as well as some other stuff in the works. I just can't reveal what some of that other stuff is right now. But
for now, you're just going to have to trust the fact that we have things in the pipeline.
Yes, I know our content has been a little bit slow this year, but we're working. Again, I can't really get into anything without giving away too much. So please be patient with us. We do have things coming. We do have episodes planned, and maybe even as early as next week, we'll finally be able to reveal what we've been doing and what we've been working on these past 2.5 or 3 months or so, if not a little bit longer than that. But anyway, let's get to why we're here, Mizpah. We took a couple of weeks off from our show. We did that intentionally because we wanted to do a live episode. So we let the episodes run out, and then we waited a few weeks, kind of like a little bit of an off period. And then we wanted to do this live episode, trying to attract more people to the series.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give everybody a chance to kind of get caught up from the beginning as well. Because, when you look back through the episodes, it really is amazing how far we've come in a year and a half. And how much has happened. And I was going back through watching some of those episodes, and living it and seeing it play out are two different things. Sitting there when she was small enough that her feet fit in my hand and her head fit in my wrist or my elbow. Now when I hold her, I have to hold her like cross-body and her feet hanging down off the side, and it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Go back and look at just the first episode of our Boiling Point podcast series and seeing how far we've come. And it's been 4 years almost now, and it's crazy to see how far we've come. And with the series now, we're what 16, 17 months in. Or no, I guess we're closer to 19, aren't we? 18 or 19?
She's 16 months old.
Okay, so 16 months. Well, 15 months because we started the series about a month after she was born. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that we're 15 months in, 20 episodes. We do try and air these every 2 weeks, so look for them. We will hopefully be back to every 2 weeks after this live episode. So stay tuned for that. Episodes will be coming. So Mizpah, what has been happening since the last time we had done an episode?
So
which I believe was right after Christmas, but then that didn't air until like the middle of March. So what has been happening since the wintertime, since January?
Well, there's so much that's been going on. Quite honestly, like we're at the point now where she's developing a lot of her personality and a lot of her motor skills. Like she's not just walking, but running around now. She's starting to put sentences together to formulate, to communicate with you what it is that she wants or needs, or she's becoming so much more interactive now. Um, Her personality is starting to get stronger and more developed. She definitely knows what she wants. She definitely knows what she needs. And she also absolutely will have absolutely no problem telling you that she doesn't want something.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, last time I saw her, she took a tumble, and I was about ready to dive out of my wheelchair to prevent her from falling, and you guys didn't react. You guys, I mean, which is good. Why don't you talk about that for a minute? Because I think that was kind of shocking to me, of course. But I'm not. Again, I'm not a father. I do help raise my nephew and stuff. But I'm definitely a little bit on the more overprotective side. So
we both, I mean, don't get us wrong, we both immediately were paying attention to the fact that she tumbled over and fell. But we could tell by the way she reacted immediately that she wasn't hurt. She didn't hurt anything that, nothing moved that shouldn't, nothing didn't move that should. She didn't hit her head. She didn't bite her lip. She didn't, hurt herself any more than maybe hurting her pride a little bit. So we didn't need to scoop her up and, make a big scene out of it. And that's kind of the approach that we've been taking with things.
Which is smart.
Kind of that, when she falls, you're all right, dust yourself off, move on.
Yeah, and that's better. I think that's better to be that way, because then they won't react and be all scared when they do get hurt or when something happens. They'll just be like, oh, okay, get up, dust myself off. Oh, I have a boo-boo, we need a Band-Aid, or just rub it, or whatever. That's better. But like I said, I was ready. I mean, it was also the first time I'd seen her tumble. You guys had probably witnessed it, countless times, but it was the first time I saw her take a real spill.
Yeah.
So I was ready, man. I was gonna leap.
I thought I was gonna have to catch you.
Yeah, I was ready to go, and then I looked up and you guys didn't react. I'm like, do I go? Do I go? Or
and that's kind of the thing too. Like she looks at us to see how we react. So just like you looked at us to see how we were reacting,
yeah,
she does the same thing. She looks at us and sees if we look scared or if we look, like the world's coming to an end, then that's what she thinks is happening.
Yeah,
if we seem like it's not that big of a deal, she picks herself up and, oh, okay, moving on. So there's that too.
Yeah, which is, I think, like as I said, that's good. So, what other word? Has you been getting any other words yet?
Oh, car, truck, tree, up, down. Uh-oh. Oops. Oh no. wow, whoa.
So still just individual words yet, not sentences yet.
Well, she's starting to put some words together. Like the other day, she dropped her cup. It was, uh-oh, down, cup. So she's starting to work on knowing how to put words together to communicate what it is that she needs or wants.
Yeah.
She's getting a lot more interactive now, even more so than the last time when I had talked about it. Now she's also getting a lot more facial expressions as well. Um, if you ever want to see that, just tell her no once.
Yeah.
You'll see it. She mean mugs with the best of them. She's starting to develop selective hearing.
Ah, very good.
So she thinks that if she doesn't acknowledge what I'm telling her, then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I didn't hear you.
that's something we're currently working on. So, and that takes a little bit of work because, like, what I do, I physically get up, move over to her, kneel down, wait till she looks at me, and say, okay, now that I have your attention, I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
Because she needs to learn that just because you ignore me doesn't mean
That
that you're going to get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Clarkson, this is a live episode. This is not something we get to do on Mizpah's Becoming a Father series, is take comments. So if you're watching, please leave a comment if you want. Clarkson says it's a rewarding process, that's for sure.
Oh, it definitely is.
Absolutely.
The little, even the littlest of things, like, the fact that she likes to curl up with me on the couch and watch Bluey. That's a me and her thing. She doesn't want to do that with mom. Like, mom tried to curl up with her on the couch and she was like, dad.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just kind of one of those moments where it was like, oh, that's a me and her thing. She understands that to her, that is something special.
Yeah.
And that right there just made my heart swell.
What about the breeze, who we can actually see moving in the window off to your left shoulder just a little bit? Then she gets into the frame. You'll have to let her know about that after this episode. Of course, she's been on an episode. Go check that out. That's a great episode where the breeze comes on. But what kind of, do they have a special thing? Do they have like a thing that's theirs?
Yeah, so when she's ready to go to bed, she likes to get her bottle and go rock, and that's a her and mommy thing. I've tried. She will drink the bottle and then she looks for mom.
Yeah.
And that's their thing. So they get their special time, their special moments, and I look forward to those. I know there's going to be a lot of them, and they're going to change as she gets older.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to come a point where I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm just the guy that gives her a roof over her head.
Yeah.
And she's going to know everything and anything.
Yeah.
And
episode 275, Mizpah gets told off by his daughter.
You think it's going to take that long?
Well, I mean, we're doing these. We're about 20 every 15. No, you're right. It's not going to be that long. It's going to be like episode 75. Episode 75. Mizpah gets told off by his daughter. Or it might even be right after, as soon as she learned, she is your daughter. So, as soon as she learns how to put all full sentences together, it could be, episode 40, Mizpah gets told off by his daughter.
And right now she's in explore mode. Like, she's mobile and she wants to look at everything. More particularly, everything that she's not supposed to be interested in. If we tell her no, that's the first place she goes.
Yep.
And that can be a little frustrating.
Well, that's not going away anytime soon. I got an 8-year-old nephew that does the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's just life.
Yeah.
So that's something that I have to learn patience. And you know just as well as I do, patience is not my strong suit.
Yeah.
So that's been my exercise. I've been working on being more patient with things and knowing when I'm reaching that limit so that I can be like, all right, Breeze, you need to step in. I need to go take a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I imagine that'll be an ever changing process as well.
oh, absolutely. The other day we had taken Sammy to the park. She loves being outside. In fact, she'll go over to the door and she'll put her hand on the door and it's go, go, go. And now she grabs her cup and grabs her blanket and she kicks up the car seat and tries to tell us that she wants to go. So we had taken her to the park and she had no interest in swinging or going down the slides or playing with anything there.
Yeah.
Nope, she just wanted to run. She was just go from one end of the park to the other. And of course, she's not the most stable on her feet yet.
Yeah, she probably fell.
Oh, a few times.
Yeah.
But she dusted herself off and picked herself back up and kept moving. But we had to chase her all over the park.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who got more exercise, me or her.
Yeah, I bet she slept real good that night though, didn't she?
Oh, we both did.
Yeah. Let's see. Connor Clarkson left another message. Gaining patience is a slow but steady process, and that's absolutely for sure.
Isn't it ironic? It takes patience to gain patience.
Yeah. And if you are watching this right now, go check out Connor Clarkson or Clarkson Wrestler. Of course, he is the one and only hard pause Connor Clarkson. So make sure you go check him out on Facebook as well. And of course, he's going to be on a new show for our sister show. Make sure you look for that next weekend. So we got to we got to get the plugs in,
I'm excited about that too.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that for a minute. Actually, let's shift gears here. You have a full-time job. You have a wife and a daughter. And of course, let's not forget that you're the executive producer of not just the Boiling Point podcast, but of our sister show, Mayhem Media, as well. So you're heavily involved in a lot of the process and what we do here and the decisions that we make, on both brands. No problem, Connor. Absolutely, and that's Connor with an E. Everybody. Now. How are you handling? Because both of our shows are growing. The Boiling Point podcast is growing, and Mayhem Media has now started expanding, pretty rapidly. There's a new show coming out that we are not even on. So, how are you handling the balance now? We talked about that in a previous episode. That was before we had really before we really started expanding and stuff. We just kind of talked about the balance between your work life and your personal life. But how's it going now that you're still working, you have family, and now our shows, our company is actually becoming a company?
So it's actually kind of interesting because the balance, it hasn't changed, but it has. So, now that Sammy's becoming a little more independent, she doesn't need that constant hovering. But even though I say that, now that she's more independent and more mobile, she is constantly getting into things. So it's just a matter of being a little smarter about how I do things, making sure I don't have things sitting around that she can get into, or if I decide I need to step out of the room for a minute, we have a playpen that we put her in, and she's got all of her toys, and plenty of time to keep herself entertained for, 5-10 minutes, or, if I'm making dinner, or, whatever,
Yeah.
I know that she's in her pen and she's okay. And I have, I can pull the baby monitor up on my phone so I can still see her while I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Work is always going to take up, an 8-hour chunk of my day. That's never going to change.
Well,
So,
not yet. Although, yeah, well, I say that, but so as soon as one of our podcasts gets picked up or something, the workload doubles. Yeah, you might be quitting your other job, but you're going to be working a shit ton on the Boiling Point podcast or on Mayhem Media. So, yeah, you're right. A huge chunk of your day is always going to be taken up by work. You're not going to change that.
And then, we do the podcast stuff. Like, the nice thing about that is it's 5 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and I just fit that in the nooks and crannies of whenever I have, a few free minutes. In fact, I had gone fishing last week. Last week? Yeah, last week.
Yeah, I think so.
And while I was fishing, I decided to just kind of shoot some footage and share my thoughts. And, we're going to do something with that at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be like probably a special to your series or something like that. So, yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. Oh, I apologize, everybody. Hold on. I am not yawning because Nick is boring or Mizpah is boring. Sorry, see, it's because I'm tired. Okay. All right. This is my 9th live episode in 5 days. I'm tired. Okay. So that's why I'm yawning. That's why I'm calling Mizpah by, by the wrong name. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing here. Because I'm exhausted. So
it's just a matter of being more mindful and better managing my time.
Yeah, and Mizpah says, 5 minutes here and 15 minutes there and 20 minutes there. Though over the last 2 weeks, it's been more like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. It's not been, the requirements for us and that we've been growing the shows has been, it's been more than just normal, like you were saying about.
Yeah, it's definitely been a little busier the past couple of weeks.
So, but that's all part of, we're making a company. So that's going to be the way it is.
Maybe so a little bit more for you than me.
Yeah.
But that's why you're the creator / host.
Yes. Mizpah, that's what Mizpah does. He does do things, behind the scenes. He does do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but he's also, the person that we usually, and I say we because we do have a whole team at this point. We bounce ideas off of him. He's a good sounding board. So there's very little that gets decided on either brand that Mizpah is not at least involved in or consulted about. And sometimes that's difficult, I know, for you to try and keep everything you got, your home life, your work life, and then with a growing company that we've started, that can be just more complicated.
Yeah. Like I said, it all comes down to just time management and, knowing where to fit things in, and more importantly, knowing how to be able to schedule time for yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And doing things even when you're sick.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Sometimes that is the way to go. That's what happens when you're trying to build something. You're going to put in some stuff. You're going to do some stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Work when you don't want to work. Find time where there isn't.
Even being sick has changed. Like, now, it used to be, I'd get sick and be like, oh, this sucks. And, I'd turn into like a big baby. I'd want somebody to make food for me, and I'd want somebody to, get me my meds. And, I just turned into a big baby. Well, now that I get sick, and especially with something like this, which is, something I can share.
Yeah.
I go into quarantine mode. Like, I live in the bedroom. I live in the sunroom. I avoid
because you don't want to get Sammy sick,
Exactly.
or the Breeze for that matter.
Yeah, I don't want to share with the Breeze or Sammy, and I do everything I can to make sure that I limit my contact as much as possible, and that's hard.
Yeah. You just share it with your friends.
Oh yeah, and my friends, yeah, they can deal with it. Like JD, yeah, sure, here.
Yeah, he's got time. 9 episodes in 5 days.
And it is hard because Sammy doesn't quite understand. So she sees that dad's going back to the bedroom again, and she doesn't understand why he's not hanging out with her in the living room.
Yeah, or watching your show or whatever.
Yeah. So I try to make sure I at least acknowledge if I come out through, or if I see her or whatever, I make sure to acknowledge her and talk to her, and just do it from like a distance. And then the Breeze is usually pretty good at getting her attention again, so I can exit stage left.
Yeah.
So even things like being sick, like you have to handle those differently.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm sitting in the sunroom right now at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, this is your normal podcast location.
But I was already hanging out here earlier.
Yeah.
Because this is a good spot for me to quarantine when I don't feel like laying in bed, which you can only do that so much.
Yeah, tell me about it. When I'm sick, when I'm sick, I'm usually down.
Yeah.
So it can be bad. And after you spend 2 days, 3 days in bed, and you're ready to get up, it doesn't matter. So what else do you want to talk about quick before we get ready to wrap things up?
So something that me and the Breeze actually had discussed.
Hold on 1 second. We're getting a couple of extra viewers here. Please leave a comment if you would like to interact with Mizpah. You can ask him a question, leave a comment. We'll share it on the page. And please take a moment right now. Hit that like button, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Rumble. It doesn't matter. Hit that like button right now. And then please share it out. Go ahead, Mizpah.
So what I wanted to say is, one thing that we had discussed is it was something we actually had witnessed a few times, and that's parents that are pushing their kids to do what they want them to do, to like the activities that they want them to like, whether that be a sports activity like baseball or football, or whether that be dance or music, or whatever the case may be. We decided we were actively going to try to not do that whatever she shows an interest in would be what we would support.
Okay.
So, and it could be anything. If she decides she takes an interest in fishing, great. I'll be happy about that. But if because I love fishing, and that was something that me and my dad could do, and we were able to have special bonding moments during that time. But if she is absolutely has no interest in fishing whatsoever, and decides she wants to take up, I don't know, ballet or something, I have no idea anything about ballet other than it takes a lot of work. But if that's what she'd want to do, I would support that as well.
Yeah. And Connor Clarkson, absolutely. When I get sick, I'm down as well. It's pretty hard when I get sick. Thank you for sharing that, and thanks for commenting. Please hit that like button. But even I would say, because listen, when I was a kid, my parents made me do some stuff that I definitely did not want to do. But when I got older, I am glad that they made me do it. So I would advise, again, no experience or very little experience as a father. I would say you still even let them do what they want to do. I'm not saying don't do that, but I think like when you want to take her fishing at something you and your dad shared. I think you should still try and get her to want to do that and get her to understand why you want her to do it with you. I think because I think later on she's going, even if she rejects it and she hates it, I think later on she'll understand it and she'll be glad that you did still get her to do that stuff. And not just with fishing. I'm just saying, like, with anything, I think letting kids do what they want is good. Let them have some choice. Let them decide things. Let them have fun. But like for me, there's definitely things that my parents made me do that I did not want to do at the time. But in hindsight, now I'm very glad that they did.
So maybe I need to clarify a little bit. It's more about not discouraging her.
Oh, okay, good.
Than it is like
just letting her do.
So
okay.
The situation that comes to mind, we had seen there was a kid who wanted to. He no longer had an interest in baseball, and his dad was a baseball coach. His dad played baseball in school, and he didn't want to play baseball anymore. He wanted to play football. And the dad was like, "You don't want to play football. You don't want to do that. No, you're absolutely not. Baseball. You're playing baseball. That's all you're doing."
Yeah.
And the dad just kept saying, "You like baseball. You enjoy it. You're just having a rough time right now. You're just gonna keep doing it."
Yeah.
And that's what started our conversation. And it was, we absolutely will not act that way. We're not going to do that. We're not going to push things on her.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks for commenting and watching. I don't know. Does she know you? Maybe she's just a viewer. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for commenting. Hit that like button, please. Share it out. Sorry, I keep it. You know how live episodes are, man. I'm going to interrupt you from time to time with comments so we can get that interaction. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, you do have to let them. There does come a time where you have to let them if they really don't want to do something. Absolutely, I think you absolutely don't force them. Absolutely, but I think you still try it. Like with, I mean, wouldn't you wait till the right age though? Right, like. If she really doesn't like fishing, you're still going to try and take her though from time to time, right?
Oh yeah. There's a difference between getting her to try something and, repetitively forcing her to do something.
Yeah. Hi, Kyle. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit that like button right now. Share it out. Oh, and we got a bunch coming in. Yep. You're welcome, Brittany. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button. And we're not going to share the other comment because that person's going to get dealt with as soon as this episode is over.
So, but yeah, we want her to grow and we want her to experience a lot of things and we want her to do whatever she wants to do in life.
Please, can you vamp for a second, Mizpah, for me?
So, like I had said, I know I personally enjoyed fishing and I enjoyed, the moments that I was able to get with my father during that time. Some of my best memories were while fishing with Dad. That was where we got our father-son bonding moments. I'd like to be able to do something like that with Sammy. Now, does that have to be while fishing? No, it doesn't. It can be while, taking a hike or, like I said, she enjoys being outside. So, if that's something outdoors related, fantastic. I will do whatever I can to make sure I present the kind of opportunities that are needed to encourage those bonding moments. And Yeah, I'm sure that our listeners, they can, what I'm saying about bonding moments, they can remember distinct points in their life where they had a moment like that with, one of their parents as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember going fishing. I mean, fishing is something. I remember going fishing with with my dad. I remember him taking me fishing and out to like monster truck things, like shows and stuff like that. That we used to go to the auto show every single year. You know what I mean? So yeah, that you have those events that I think you remember for a
Yeah,
long time.
and that my point is, you remember them. So I want to do whatever I can to make sure, I give her those kind of memories as well.
Thank you for
Um,
commenting, Brittany Woodson. She says some forest walks are good to do, guys. I do Thetford forest walks. I don't know what that means. I don't know what Thetford forest walks are. And apparently they have biking trails too, so that's fantastic.
is that like a location?
I don't know, Brittany. If you're still watching, please elaborate on what Thetford forest walks are. Please, we are interested to know. um, So yeah, this picked up real quick here, Miss Paul. We've had some viewers coming in and out, but we're getting some commenters and some people watching.
Well, that's great. I'm always willing to answer questions or take comments, if anybody has any.
Yes, absolutely. And please keep the comments on point and respectful, please. If anybody happened to see the one that was comment that one that with the one comment that has already been deleted because I was on top of that shit like a like a son of a bee. So, but yeah, we'll keep them light. But anytime we do any live episodes, we always want viewer interaction. We always want people to comment, and we always like doing some interaction with the viewers, especially Mizpah. We know that he has a lot of viewers. We know that there are some viewers here who like the Mizpah series, so we're glad to be able to do this. We hope to maybe try and do, another one maybe in the fall or something, since this one seems to be doing pretty good.
All right, so Brittany did answer, and
Yep.
apparently it is a location.
Thanks, Mark. All right, so she said, yeah, it's called Thetford Forest. They have 3 different length walks, 7 miles, 3 miles, and 1 mile, she thinks, and the bike trails are about the same. And we should definitely have a look. I am interested in what this is, so I will definitely be taking a look at that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Miss Bob was going to say, what about you?
That's something I would definitely take a look into. When Sammy gets a little bit older, we were talking about taking her up to like Ricketts Glen State Park and places like that. Uh, just to keep her curiosity going because she loves to explore things and check new things out. And I want to encourage that because that's how you learn.
Oh, okay. Here's you. Brittany commented again here. 10 to 20 minutes away from Hunstanton Beach, and I have no idea where that is. Mizpah?
Not a clue.
All right. So, sorry, Brittany, we don't know where that is. But being that we don't know where that is, we're very grateful that you're watching from wherever it is you're watching from. If you feel so inclined, leave a comment on where you're watching from and how long you've been watching the series, if you feel like saying any of that. I got so much going on right now, and that's that. I love that I'm glad that you're laughing at that because it's about 10 to 20 minutes away from Hunstanton Beach. That doesn't help us at all. That doesn't give us.
Now I'm gonna have to pull my phone out and Google this because I want to know where it's at.
Well, I'm gonna let Mizpah. Oh man, we are definitely not going to be.
We're definitely not going to be checking that out anytime soon.
We're not going to be able to check Thetford Forest out anytime soon. But I'm glad that you tuned in, Brittany, who's watching from Sutton Bridge, Spalding, UK. Thank you for tuning in, and I can only imagine that you got here via Connor Clarkson, the one and only hard pause Connor Clarkson. And we want to thank you, Connor. I don't think he is watching anymore, but thank you for sharing us out and stuff and getting us some new viewers. We really appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in.
So, all right, we're gonna, I think, get ready to. Oh, he is still here. Connor, you and I, if you're still awake when this is done, you and I need to talk. I don't know if you saw it or not, but we need to talk about the comment that I had to delete and stuff. So we need to do that. So, and let's see, Brittany, she wants to know from Connor, what kind of area are you? And she can find some places. So there you go, Connor. Look at that. We're bringing people together here on Mizpah's Becoming a Father series. Did you ever think that your series, even doing a live episode, that we'd be having people commenting to each other in the comments section?
I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great. So we are going to keep going for a couple more minutes. I have messages coming in that I'm going to have to handle.
So
there's a lot going on, as I said, between the Boiling Point podcast and Mayhem Media. We are extremely busy doing a bunch of stuff.
So I'm not sure if Brittany's aware, but we are located in Pennsylvania, in the United
States. Yeah, we are in the United States. We are not in the United Kingdom. So we are definitely not going to check out Thetford Forest. Maybe Mayhem Media or the Boiling Point podcast gets picked up, or our own network gets launched, and then maybe we can go out there and we'll go out there and see Connor, and we can go stop by the forest and check it out.
Yep. Once we start pulling in paychecks.
Well, of course, that's what I mean.
And thank you, Brittany.
Yes, thank you for watching, Brittany. Thank you, Connor, for sharing it out. I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry. Mizpah, if you could.
Bless you. So, yeah, I'm excited that we're getting so much feedback and so much input from people. That means a lot to me.
Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Niagara Falls. That's not too bad. It would not be like a day trip. That would have to be like a thing. I've been to Niagara Falls when I was a kid, so I've been there before. It's quite something. I'll tell you that much. It's quite something.
Yeah, I was there when I was young too. I don't remember a whole lot about it because I don't know, like 4, maybe.
I remember being awe-inspiring, just the sight of the falls being like, it's a massive structure, likely the first real massive natural structure I'd ever seen. Because I think, I'd probably seen the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon before that, but I don't really recall seeing it before that. But Niagara Falls is pretty etched in my memory.
What I remember of Niagara Falls was we had gone out into the lake and there were massive like ships just cruising around, and one of them actually happened to be an old sailing ship, and so I remember that fondly because at that age I thought it was a pirate ship.
Yeah. So, all right, what else do you want to do? Is there anything else you want to talk about quick before we get ready to wrap things up? I know I said that a couple minutes ago, but then we got into more comments and stuff. So,
yeah, I would just say I'm learning that becoming a father, there's a lot of bittersweet moments. Like, I'm excited that she's growing and learning new things, but at the same time, I also realize that means that there's things that she's not going to do anymore that I'm going to miss her doing. Like eventually there's going to come a time when she doesn't want to curl up with me on the couch and watch TV. Eventually there's going to come a time when she's not taking a bottle and having a rock with, mom before she goes to bed. And, those are things that eventually she'll grow out of, and that's why there's a lot of bittersweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brittany, have you ever come to the States? Hit me up. I'd be happy to take you to Niagara Falls. And childhood memories are definitely, the good old days and stuff. Like I like a lot of my childhood memories as well. So, and I have no doubt that you're going to help Sammy create many of them, and the Breeze as well. Shout out to the Breeze, who is not on tonight, nor is she off screen in her normal place as she usually is. She's likely tending to the baby or probably going to sleep because she needs it.
Sammy's in bed at this point. Yeah, we want to give her as many experiences as we can, because we had blessed childhoods, and I want to make sure she has one as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have no doubt that I think that you will do that.
And we're surrounded by such a support structure too. I mean, between family and friends that are family, and like we have so many people that are going to be able to help us do that. It's almost mind-boggling.
Yep. Brittany commenting again. A girl will always need her father, and she says, "You got this, Mizpah." I think also, Brittany, I do believe that is also the case. I think he definitely has it. Of course, and she's going to be completely safe. She has so many uncles that will not let any boys get within 250 feet of her. So she's going to be she's likely going to become a nun. Let's just be honest.
There'll be a staunch application process.
Yeah. Really. Because see, I got a lot of nephews. I don't have as many nieces, except for really Mizpahs, and one of my other friends has two daughters. But I have more nephews than I have nieces, and the nieces are just screwed because they're never going to have a boy over or a guy over. And if by some chance she does, then he'll be there briefly, and then he will be gone for a while, and a new hole will be in the yard. But that's what I feel bad for Sammy about, because she's not gonna ever have any boyfriend. She's not allowed to date until she's 35. Are we in agreement on that, Mizpah?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I already shared that one. Sorry, guys. All right. Listen, this is my 9th live episode in 5 days. It's time to wrap this up. I got to move on. She's commenting one more time, Brittany. That's a father and uncle and brother's prerogative to protect the girls. I would be the same for my children. And yeah, the problem is, Brittany, is that little Sammy has got, and this is just off the top of my head, I likely think it's more if we sat down and made a list, but she's likely got at least 10 to 12 uncles that are going to not let a boy get anywhere near her. Is that an accurate, or do you think it's a little bit more than that?
I think it might be a little more than that. She definitely won't have to be afraid of anything.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Plus, with her strong will, the first boy that hurts her, there might not be much for us to pick up. Because, with her sassiness, she might take care of it before we even have a chance.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with the uncle she has, she might grow up where we don't even need to protect her. She's just gonna, a boy comes up to her and she's gonna give him that, shot to the area there, and that's the end of that.
But now, I definitely look forward, and so far, I'm just astounded that we've made it this far without, screwing anything up at this point.
Yeah, listen, Brittany, have you ever seen the scene in Bad Boys 2 where a boy comes over to take Marcus's daughter out, or Martin Lawrence's daughter out in that movie? That's what anybody that comes to take Sammy out has to expect. Okay, Mizpah will play the sober father, and I will play the drunk uncle waving a gun around. So that's where that's going to be at. But thank you for your support and everything. And we have a troll, ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to see that in the comments. And that's what an executive producer is for, getting my back before I even have to handle it.
Problem solved.
Yeah. This is not if this was not Mizpah's Becoming a Father series, I would address that directly and then post the rant. Thank you for tuning in, douchebag. But we have a higher elevation of people we allow to comment on our page, and we don't allow people to spread false, heinous, unbelievably wrong rumors, because that's what they are, about anybody. So move on somewhere else.
Well, just regardless, if it's not on topic or about the series, I just don't have time for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. Brittany, thank you very much. I'm glad you remember the scene, and yes, that's exactly what Sammy, any boy that comes over to take Sammy out, that's what he has to look forward to. There is that scene. That entire scene will unfold before him.
And that might be the light version,
including the end. So if anybody knows that, then hopefully they're laughing right now, and anybody that knows me is hopefully laughing hysterically, because that's just ridiculous. So let's wrap this up. Thank you everybody who tuned in and who commented. This has been great. I'm really, really glad that Mizpah's first live episode has actually gotten this many views, this many comments. We really appreciate that so much. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like button on the video. Please share it out. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Facebook. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Please follow us. Please subscribe. We're trying to grow the brand, and we want to continue, continue growing this and making this a larger show and a larger company. So,
yes, thank you all. And if you have any suggestions for topics that you'd like us to cover on the show, don't hesitate to, let us know.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I've said this on another episode. I'm going to use Mizpah's show to say it too. We are growing our series, our show, our brands. We are growing as a company. So if you are a content producer or a behind the screens producer or a video producer or a sound person or a video person, and you just want to get some more experience or be part of something that could be large in given enough time and work, then please reach out to us. We're always looking to expand and grow the team. So please do that. And please, I know I've said it a bunch of times, please hit that like button, hit that share button. Don't wait. Do it right now, please. That will help us get seen by more people and will ultimately help us continue to grow this brand as well. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Connor Clarkson. Thank you, everybody else who has commented. In case I am missing anybody, thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you, Mizpah, for doing this series. Thank you to the Breeze, who gives you the time to be a part of what we're growing here. And thank you to Sammy, who, even though we try and keep these for when she's after bed, I know that some of your time does get taken away from that. So thank you to Sammy as well, and for being the topic of the series. Until next time, in 2 weeks, will be the next episode. This was such a success. Mizpah and I are going to have a conversation about live episodes and this series when this concludes. So the next 2 weeks will probably be a recorded one, but please leave us a comment on that episode. We will address it in the next episode after that. We will always address any comments. So please tune in and check out any of the old episodes. If you're new to the series, if you're new to the Boiling Point podcast, go check out, go watch back from the beginning, because it's a great series. We have some great episodes in there with Mizpah's series, as well as some other content on our channels. And of course, our sister show, Mayhem Media. That Mayhem Media is for all entertainment. You leave all of the other nonsense at the door. That is what Mayhem Media is for. It's for entertainment purposes. It's for entertainment topics. The Boiling Point podcast is about life, is about politics, is about world news, it is about finance. Understand the difference between the brands before you go and follow either one of them. But please go and follow either one or both. And our storefronts. We'll do our storefront yet. Bonfire.com/store/The Boiling Point Podcast. I was going to show you my shirt, but this is our sister show. Please go and pick up some apparel. That would be great. Mizpah, do you want to add any last thing?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right, great. Then until next time, look for this series again in 2 weeks, and hopefully maybe we'll do another live one in a couple weeks after that. For the executive producer and the star of the show, Mizpah, I am the host, JD, and that's the end.
Good night.